Daniel, we're back to find out exactly what is going on now. We're both building something positive. We've got some exciting stuff. So what are we going to be doing? Let's open it up. I'm excited to be partnering up with you. I'm excited for you to be coming on board, because for me, I am all about providing choice, no matter who you are or what you do. Every single one of us in this world needs choice, and we all need a bit of guidance, a bit of help, or a bit of inspiration along the way. So tell
all
me,
three.
all three. Hey, or it could be five.
It
could be five, and there could be other bits, and it could be events, it could be
Yeah.
connection, it could be community. So yeah, I mean, look, tell me, what is the future looking like? What are you creating and what are you doing? Because
How long you got?
listen, mate. You know, I know firsthand you're an amazing pianist. You're an amazing singer.
Yeah.
You know,
there
you're
is
an
that as
amazing
well,
public speaker.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
It's like, but what is your next thing, and what are you doing, and why?
Yep. So, well, the next thing, the next chapter. So we're about to launch LifeX, which is the rebrand of the business. So we've gone from LifeX to LifeX. LifeX about the past, LifeX about the future.
I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. And it coincides with basically your own journey, doesn't it?
Exactly that, yeah. So as I talked to you about that internal transformation, naturally it seeped into the business. So all the services have changed, all the talks have changed, everything about what we're doing, the model has changed, the vision for the future has changed, and it's now more aligned. We talk about the power of alignment, and because it's more aligned, now it just feels like things are flowing really easy.
Feels natural.
Without
feels authentic.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, without it's like the fourth time I've pointed at this word. Here,
I picked a good word, didn't I?
You did me. Yeah. Also, it's happening without this pressure, and they used to, and it feels like, if I'm honest, some of the things that I wanted in the past maybe stems from fear. Do you know what I mean? Whereas this feels like, okay, it's from like love. Feels a little bit different, which is amazing. So we're launching LifeX with a goal to impact 1 million students and parents. My dream as always the message hasn't changed. I want to provide hope for people. It's just how we're going about it now, and the language we use, and the mechanism for that has shifted. My goal in the future, big version in the future, big goal in the future is to build a community, build an app, a piece of tech. It's less around the tech, but it's more the tech is a vehicle for what's underneath the surface, which is to give young people the life skills they need to be able to thrive in the world.
So let me take it back. Okay, so you've given yourself a goal to inspire or to connect
impact 1 million parents and students. Yeah.
Parents and students. And tell me, how are you doing it? You know, let's take it back.
Yeah.
Let's ask you a bit of, like, you know, what's involved, what are you doing, how are you connecting people? Because I can honestly say, I would guess, and I am guessing here, but I'm having an educated guess, that there is a disparity between parents and children, and the connection, and, you know, getting them to understand feelings and bringing them together. And I'm guessing that is a common theme.
So it is. It's huge. You know, over the past 5 years, and the reason why I've reached this point, over the past 5 years, when I was delivering talks, whether it was Meta, Facebook, you know, Clifford Chance, Structure Tone, these big organizations, I would often get parents that would come to me afterwards. And I'm thinking we're going to talk one-to-one about maybe something that's going on in work or whatever. And they go, Dan, my team's flying. I'm a director. My team's flying. I'm doing so well. You know, I'm hitting my targets, this, and this. Can't get my kid to go into school. Or my child just won't communicate with me, and it's starting to impact work. And these areas, the difficulty around that is, you know, I've worked with over 50 schools now. Schools don't have the budgets to extend the budgets to parents, so they don't get support from schools. In the workplace, a lot of it goes on employee well-being, because we want quick return of investment, which isn't really focused around what's going on at home. It's all focused around, you know, some of those challenges, of more generic challenges of, like, the mental health, the well-being, the financial literacy stuff, which is what we typically see. And so many parents are struggling, and they don't know where to turn to for that support. And so it's a big thing for me, because my passion, supporting young kids. Well, how do we do that? Well, look at the environments that are around young kids, and that's what we cater for. We'll look after at home by supporting the parents. We're working with the schools to make sure that everything in the schools is there's got those services that can connect, that can support, the ecosystem around a school. But then we're going to work directly with the kids as well through the programs to ensure that we give them the skills, the tools, the knowledge to be able to develop the self. Over the past tenure of time of education, that we've had, we've been trying to give kids hope through English, math, science, good grades. That's no longer running because the world's changing at a rate that the current education system can't really keep up with. AI, the skills that are going to be needed for their future is changing massively. And also there's been no innovation truly in the way that we teach, okay? And so I've been trying to give kids hope through that. But what happens when you've got a kid who struggles in the classroom or struggles with English, maths and science or struggles with behaviour because what he needs is something completely different. He needs to be running in the morning, do you know what I mean? Whatever it is.
And to be fair, what I actually love is that you've gone the triangular effect.
It has to be.
It has to be because, and I can, again, I always use my own lived experience. So I've got two friends. One has got an autistic child and one has got a child with ADHD. They both speak to me about the challenges and like the different stuff. And what I realised is that you need somebody who understands or lived experience or gets what you're talking about. And it's about connecting people.
Well, that's it. I was going to say.
Yeah, it's about, so I connected those two.
Yeah, it's connection, yeah.
I connected those two to allow those two to actually have conversations with no judgment, with understanding, with getting it. So when you're talking about taking the connection between the child and you, then you've got the parents and you from a different angle, and then you've got the school, and you've got getting everybody to understand it, getting everybody to connect, but also to build a community where people can
100%.
connect. Because, okay, let me think about it, okay? And successful organizations, AA, CA, it's stuff like this where it is a proven model that basically people connect, people help each other, and people understand each other. Yeah, there's some taboos around AA and CA and all the rest of it, but it has supported, it has helped significant amounts of people across the world. And that is about understanding and putting people together who understand what each other are feeling.
Yeah.
And that there is no taboo about what you can talk about and there is no judgment.
Yeah, 100%. But then also just in respect to kind of how do we support how do we support the next generation? Because, and that for me is we go downstream. And so if we can give young people, children, the skills to understand the self, to regulate the self, to use this language, to build, the self-worth, the self-love, whatever it is, to understand boundaries, to know what their values are, so they have a moral compass on how to live from a young age, all of this sort of work. If we give them those life skills and connection to others, connection to the self, the power of service, how actually if you have, if you are of service to your community, whether that is helping the lady down the street, whether that is volunteering at your primary school because you're great at sports and you're in year 11 and you want to give an hour a week and you have this connection with all these kids, and then you have meaning and purpose back in your life. We're living in a time where kids don't have meaning and purpose and they don't know who they are because of how they're brought up, what we teach them, the funnels and kind of what we squeeze them into, social media that says you have to be X, Y, Z, and it's all nonsense. And this is what I'm talking about, where the skills that I want to bring to the next generation are what I consider the most important skills of connection to the self, connection to others, the life skills, the understanding the self. And if we give a child those, the understanding of how to set a goal, how to build from nothing, how to work as part of a team in order to create something that's of service to other people, and all of these sorts of things, which we've kind of let them down on a little bit, and which is becoming increasingly more difficult to deliver in a way that's engaging so they learn them because of technology. But anyway, if we can give them those things, how many of them raise up, how many of them grow up and have some of the issues that we're seeing? We've got 40% of 16 to 24-year-olds are hopeless in the UK at the moment. 14%, we've got 1 million that are going to be neat, not in higher education or work. 1 million, 40% that are not hopeless. How do we give young people hope? And for me, that comes in these skills that we're talking about, coming back to human connection, You know, we've we've created a world where now people talk about the science of going for a walk. Do you know how mad that is? Like,
Yeah.
think that, like, that's, we're at a point where we have to talk about the science of sitting in sunshine and going for a walk.
Listen,
It shows how disconnected we are.
listen. I grew up in an age where we didn't have mobile phones.
yeah.
If we wanted to go out, we had to go knock on our friend's
You
door.
wait till the lights go out.
Yeah, literally.
Leaving the bike out longer. So, oh, mum, I've left my bike.
Literally, I'd leave my bike. I'd leave my bike on the park. And go back and get
You've got to go and get it. Yeah, exactly
it.
that.
And it was like, you know, and
100%.
it's bizarre, and you know, I don't understand. You know, I don't understand. You know, how you could sit on a game for like 10 hours. 12
Well, that's
hours.
easy to understand. It's really easy to understand because the kids are competing against psychologists who are working in Silicon Valley to design the apps and the game. What's more addictive than a phone?
Yeah.
And this is the thing for the young kids. It comes to a point where nothing is more interesting than a screen against their little brain. And so then the very normal things of spending time out with your mates, going for the walk with the family. I went to a walk around the reservoir. I was doing a run, at the weekend. And it was funny. It was like half a film. I seen this young kid, 12, 13, 14 years old, young lad. And bless his parents, man. And he's why are we out on this walk? You've dragged me out to walk out for an hour around here. You think I want to be on this walk? Like, have you got a phone? I need my iPad this week. It's sad.
It is sad.
It's really sad.
It's sad.
No, it's sad. It's
but
sad.
I think the powerful stats that you've just talked about are really impactful.
Yeah,
and we
of course.
do need to make a difference. And,
Of
and to
course.
be fair, it's you can't be reliant on the schools to fix everything for you. But then you can't be reliant on getting everything right as a parent.
No, 100%.
And you are totally bob on with the triangular approach.
So this is it.
Because it has to be.
So this is
it
it.
has to come from every single angle, because some children will be inspired by the children's stuff. Some parents will be inspired by the parents' stuff. Some schools will be impactful from the school stuff. But joining it all together and having that three-pronged approach.
Exactly.
You are going to...
where the messaging is coherent.
Exactly
that. And that's what we're building. And it's going to be amazing. And so we're launching our parent programs to support parents, delivered by our head of parent programs, Natalie Costa. She's an ex-teacher, background in psychology, and has been coaching parents for the past 10 years. She's amazing. She's just brilliant. And so we have a 6-week program where it's group coaching, where we look at Natalie's work begins with the self as a parent first.
Yeah.
And understanding how to navigate emotions first as a parent, because I think often what parents don't realise is the relationship is like a figure of 8. Any change that happens on this side will immediately impact this one. And the kids at the end of the day.
Yeah. And listen, it's so easy.
Yeah.
So easy to do, and it's so easy to give too much, to be too generous, or, you know, to think that you're helping when you're not, when you're actually, you know, it could be hurting. And
exactly. But sorry to interrupt, because I'm so passionate about this. And ADHD Daniel goes, blah, 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 blah.
I love it. Don't worry.
So you can have a few passes to interrupt me as well, me on the way back.
Okay.
But the same thing being, parents are also trying to raise kids in a world that they didn't grow up in.
Yeah.
How? So there's no rule book. And so, again, these fundamental skills which Natalie delivers and which we deliver through LifeX to support the parents, you know, to give them that breathing space. Like the results from her work are just incredible, because it directly impacts the kid, but it also impacts the parent. The work that I've been doing over the past 5 years, working with 50,000 young people, I had a young lad, brilliant. I've gone into a school in the morning, gone into the staff room, 3 teachers back to back. Dan, you got year 8s today, Dan. You got year 8s, you're going to have a tough one. Why? There's a kid, I won't say his name, we'll say James. James is easy. James is in there, isn't he? You're gonna find him challenging, like great.
James.
Yeah, you're gonna
meet
yeah,
James.
basically gonna meet James. Anyway, okay then, challenge set. Let's go for it. Go into the room. James walks in, and it was a boys focus group. I'm shaking all the hands as they come in properly. I've got some house music playing on in the background as they come into the room. I'm making jokes as soon as they come in. Like, I allow them 5 minutes where we're just having banter so that they can calm and get used to the environment before we start to learn. And then straight away I'm bantering with Alex, and then as we go on, we're doing stuff around values, and I'm praising, and he's being brilliant. Starts to get engaged. I give him some responsibility, and like his eyes are lighting up. He had a few moments where he was a little bit rogue, and the class was being, and I joined in, and then I set the boundary afterwards, and I didn't put any pressure on it. Just kept it nice and easy, nice and chilled, and connected with him and told him about my story first. I did all of that, set the foundations. I'm not going to ask anything from you that I'm not willing to do myself. Here's my story. Anyway, we get to this point, and I ask him to write 20 positive things about the self. And he walks out. Now, young boys, what teachers or what we fail to understand is that young boys don't feel able to express sadness if they don't know something, vulnerability. And so when that happens in a room around their peers, it gets masked as anger. It gets masked as walking out. It gets masked as humor, which is why young lads are so much more difficult to deal with in school and why the rate of exclusions is so high, because lads present the same behavior as vulnerability, of sadness, in a way that's harder to manage because they don't feel safe to do so. Whereas a young girl will say, we'll maybe cry or talk about it. And that's really easy for a teacher to manage. But yet we punish the lads as a result of the behavior that comes off the back end without understanding why they're doing it. And they don't even understand.
Half
Truly.
the time they won't.
They won't.
No,
In the moment, they
won't.
won't. But so this is what I mean. And you have to meet those moments with grace. So he walked out. I could have gone, James, why are you just walking out? As many people and many teachers sometimes do, especially when they're at the top of the stress load. I walked out, put my hand on his shoulder. Can I guess why you're upset? Is it hard to write 20 things about yourself? He's saying, it's not that, Dan. He said, I can't remember the last time I've been complimented. He said, it feels so nice. And he's year 8, and he just started crying. He broke down. And I said to him, look, I said, like, the only difference between me and the teachers in the rest of this school is that you've got a personal brand with them. And so you feel like you need to be a certain way because that's all they've known about you. It's like, what if you show them this version of yourself, James? What if you show them this? So there's no difference, or there's nothing stopping you from walking into your class with your teacher and being this version of you. He messages me on TikTok the next 3 days. Dan, I've not been kicked out of any lessons. I've not been shouted at once. And it's been 3-4 months since that. And I went and saw him. I was in the class, in the school. I wasn't with his group. I was doing some other work. And he ran up to me. Uniform all sorted. I get goosebumps, man. Uniform all correct. Nice haircut, smiling, looking amazing. And he's, Dan, he comes up to me. How you doing? You okay? He's like smiling ear to ear. And he's just talking. And I said, look, how's things been? Oh, it's amazing. Like, really, really good. And like, this was a kid who's fighting teachers, getting kicked out, on the verge of getting kicked out. Every teacher's coming to me saying, you're going to struggle with him.
Yeah.
And that 2-hour interaction with a lad like James, where I praise, we help him understand what his values are, show him what his strengths are, all of those beautiful things about him, which he's not hearing from the rest of the world because he can't do English, maths, or science. Yeah. When we give them that, what do you get? You get a James who now engages with lesson and learns because he feels better about who he is. We talk about our own selves. You were destructing. Why? Because you didn't have words for the self. Because if no one's ever shown that to a kid, how is he going to see it? And so I think people don't understand, like, creating behavioral change with kids, and they're so malleable. If you build up the self, and this is where schools have been getting it wrong. You build up the self, and everything you want comes off the back end. And this is the work that I'm going to be doing. And that basically,
and it's such impactful work.
Oh, it's amazing.
No, it is, and it's doing stuff. But it's doing stuff with purpose, isn't it?
Of course,
You've got a natural talent. You've got an ability to basically work with those kids, and this is why I'm partnering up with you, because it's like you are providing and offering something that is not available elsewhere. So it's basically, and it's all about choice. So if you are a school where you've got struggles and you need some inspirational help, get in touch with you. If you're a parent that you're basically finding that you're not making that connection with your child, or you're finding things tough, get in contact with you.
If you're a business, your parents are seeing that same thing,
and you're seeing that the parents are feeling it, seeing that same thing. Because I'm a business owner, a multiple business owner, and I have learned over the last 5 years that the most important thing within the business is my people and how my people are feeling, and basically, supporting them. Because if I support them to be the best version of themselves, I get the best version of them back in terms of work. And I get loyalty, happiness, I get, that commitment. And that is the big thing that a lot of businesses miss.
And exactly that. And who wants to come into work dreading, your manager seeing that you're a bit anxious or upset because you don't feel like you can have the conversation, or the fact your numbers have dropped recently because your child won't go into school in the morning and you're not sleeping and whatnot, and you can't have that no one wants that.
No.
And what you mentioned there was beautiful around like the point of loyalty and commitment. I think people, humans are going to go through difficulty at some point throughout working with you in your business, for example. They're going to go through it.
Yeah.
They're going to go through it. When you show that empathy and that compassion, and that support, once they're through it, that version that you will get then, once you've shown them and you've helped them through, will be more loyal, will work harder, will be more committed, will bring more ideas, will be more engaged than the individual you had before the stuff even went on, because of what you've given, and because of the connection and the relationship.
And they're more productive.
Yeah,
and I've
exactly
seen it
that.
recently.
Yeah.
In the last 3 months, I've had an example. I'm not going to speak about it because it's personal to each person, but I've seen it firsthand where basically we've supported, we've gone above and beyond, we've offered, supported, guided, and basically spoken about it openly. And he's now like thriving so well. And the difference of where he was struggling to where he is now is polar opposite.
Exactly.
And it's about basically not treating people like another number. It's about treating people like a human being and appreciating that all of us will need different support, different choices, and different ways of dealing with things.
And I'm going to point at this for the fifth time.
Is this the 18th time?
It might be by the end of the podcast, mate. But again, it's like the authentic piece. Just when people can be authentic, when we can have authentic relationships that aren't built on the premise of games or manipulation or power games or whatever it is. When you can just have that relationship that is without any of that, and it can be authentic and true and real. Again, the stronger that relationship is, the stronger your relationships are in your life, the greater your well-being is. It's the largest determining factor of how great your well-being is how strong your relationships are. You've got strong relationships in work, people are going to work better, the outcomes for the business, they're going to be happier, you're going to see their lives improve. It's a win-win for everyone in that sense, but it's very hard to do. It's not simple. It's simple in concept, but to be able to create those spaces, to lead with those conversations, and to be able to ensure that culture, from the start is, and it comes from a lot of the time leadership, isn't it, and those values.
Listen, I always say it has to come from the top.
Yeah, always.
It has to be rolled out from the top, because if it's rolled out from the top,
everyone's safe.
If it's rolled out, whereas if you try and go from the bottom upwards, it never happens. And we're building companies, businesses for the future, and I got to think about what I would want my own son, to be coming into what environment in terms of work. And I want it to be, where it is supportive, where it's open, where it's transparent, where there's access to, whatever support or whatever help you need, but also, learnings. So it's so important.
And where everybody wins as well. And I think it's not. I think some businesses get scared that the care for well-being and whatnot. There's still that old rhetoric of, well, it will take away from performance. Well, actually, performance will go through the roof when people are looked after and they feel safe.
100%.
And it doesn't come without boundaries of performance and stuff. All of this, those things still exist, but they come with a degree of care, which helps people feel safe and perform better, which is important. So it's good. But in terms of the journey, that's the plan with the business: support employee benefits, support parents, students, to continue our work with schools, partnering with organisations who want to fund stuff in schools, because that's the way that I'm seeing this, is that the kids that are in the schools right now are going to be the employees in the businesses. I believe every business should have a vested interest in supporting them through whether it's social value, CSR, which is amazing. And then we're going to build out LifeX to be able to impact those 1 million parents and students through tech and community events and whatnot. And then also release the music, which is a really powerful thing, as we touched on. I love writing music. It's been that way since I was 5 years old. It was one of the tools that I used to understand the world and my life and the things that I was going through. It was a mechanism where I could take experience and shift it through chord structure and have something wonderful at the end that could impact somebody, and like tangibly as well. I could see all that. And so finally getting around to the point of releasing music this year. It's my goal to get into the studio once we've launched the business and everything, to get into the studio under my alias Daniel Debek, which is my Polish family name. I'm half Polish. That's where I get my strength from. and then release some of the music, piano, strings, hardware synths over there, really emotional, atmospheric stuff, and nurture that childhood element of Daniel, and then be a stronger version for my relationship, be a more complete version for my family, be a better partner, provide for our future family, and shift myself into that state, again, that future state of Daniel who spends as much time in the future as he does trying to understand the past. In fact, not more now, because I've spent so much time in the past that I've intellectualized that to its nth degree. I don't need to do any more of it. I understand all of its impact, everything that I went through. I know all that, and there's a wealth of knowledge that's come along with it. And now I want to use that to go on a new journey of learning to understand how to form the new and the future. And I'm on that 40% in. And so I'm excited. I'm excited by that. And
Do you know what though? There's no rush.
Of
There's
course,
no rush. And
yeah.
I have said
Take the
this
pressure
exact
off.
thing with Clarity.
It's not squeezing too much.
Yeah, and Clarity Circle. There is no rush. I am building something on solid, amazing foundations. And when it is meant to grow, it will grow. Yeah. When it is meant to be, seen by more and more, it will happen. And what is meant to be will be. And it's almost like, let's slow. Let's be happy with where we've got to. Like, genuinely,
100%.
You have done amazing things.
Thank you,
You
sir.
continue to do amazing things. And it is step by step. And I'm super excited to be on this journey with you.
Thank you, mate. Likewise.
We will advocate, we will share, we will shout about, we will promote everything you're doing, because you're doing amazing work and you're helping other people. You're doing it, and it is to do with wellness, and it's to do with well-being, because it's children's well-being, it's schools' well-being, and it's parents' well-being. 3 massive things, and you're putting it all together in a triangle. I love it. I love it. I'm passionate about it, because I genuinely believe that if we can touch and make a difference in younger people's lives, they will get the best for longer period, and it's impactful.
And they will grow up to be the fathers and the mothers that don't need the training to be able to give it back, because it's been instilled from a young age. And what a wonderful point to be at, where
self-fulfilling.
Exactly that.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly that.
And it is step by step and day at a time. Like I have to do in my addiction. It's a day at a time. It is literally one day at a time. And you're building something on amazing foundations. Don't rush. Let it happen.
I needed that one this week.
Yeah.
Put a bit of pressure on this week.
So don't rush. Let it happen. And on that note, stay tuned. Get in touch with Daniel or I, and we're on this journey together.
It's the second time he's cracked my knuckles shaking my hand.
I've got big hands. I've got big hands.